Me, who's really starting to come into his own when Xiaohu joined the roster. You see a little bit of a discrepancy there, and I think the top side of the map in general will need to be fairly heavily camped by Spirit if they're going to get an advantage.
That being said, top side of the map already having one of its members removed as Aurelia gets banned away here first as we hop into Champ Select. It is going to be the Thresh ban again, and are Gamtee going to do it once more, where they ban away immediately those top two supports?
Yeah, it certainly looks like they don't like dealing with them. It nullifies a lot of what Leona brings to the table, so if that's what they're really comfortable running, why not get rid of it? Also getting rid of the LeBlanc. Don't want Xiaohu on a very powerful, aggressive assassin. In saying that, this is the Ahri patch, and Ahri is also something that's still incredibly strong.
Yeah, and that mid lane has a deep champion pool as well as far as relevant champions are concerned. Xerath comes to mind, Azir, Xiaohu showing great prowess on both of those champions, and we'll see whether the Ahri does sneak through this lineup. There are many, many options there, though, and Nah does ring a bell because Aluka, he does love to pick that one up, has pretty decent teamfight presence on that champion, to be honest. Nidalee's going to be taken away, so maybe a little bit of scouting as Spirit.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that happened at all. Nidalee, a very good carry jungler at this point in the game, and getting Spirit on something like that, especially if he's willing to play it when it's not strong, you introduce a strong carry jungler into the meta and he will snap that one up. So taking that off the board, Lissandra being picked away, banned away here, that's towards both Let Me and Xiaohu. Xiaohu had a very good mid Lissandra game, so little bit of that flex ban coming through, just an overall strong champion still.
Yeah, and at the moment, GT sort of taking their time, thinking about their final ban, sort of twitching their finger over the Janna, you could imagine. We'll see whether they decide to remove anything else, because it's actually going to be Kassadin. Did not want to let that one through. Rek'Sai immediately locked in, and Spirit wants to hop on that one.
Yeah, obviously really interested in playing that champion. Looks like they might actually hover the Janna in response. Rek'Sai, once he gets in, once she gets in, can be devastating, but if you set the re-engage, struggles to re-engage onto your carries, because as soon as that tunnel goes on cooldown, it is quite a long one, isn't able to get in there and infect people with knockups, and the Rumble being picked away here, leaving the Nara up. This is a challenge to Aluka being thrown down by the Gamtee lineup. Let Me extremely comfortable in the matchup. It goes in Na's favor at the moment, and still willing to lock that one in.
Yeah, interesting. The last-minute switch over from Janna is to Corki here, making sure Tail is on his most comfortable champion, you have to admit. And when you have an immortal game going 13 kills, it does make sense. Spirit hovering over a Rek'Sai, Hecarim here, sorry, with Ignite Smite as well, might I add. I don't know whether that is necessarily going to be locked in, as Ninja does also have Brand. So let's just not make a comment on that one. Rek'Sai being given that much priority, though, here on the 5.2 patch does interest me, because she's not quite as strong as she used to be. STYZ thinking about hopping on yet another hypercarry, as this timer is going to tick down. And Sion for potentially the top lane. And Jinx going to be locked in there for STYZ, so I like it. Very good against Corki here in the lane, just because you can push and harass at the same time, and you outrange this guy.
Yeah, the worrying sign is here, though, that's two champions that take a long time to get going. Jinx has got a good laning phase, but then in team fights really does need a couple of items to really ramp up and get going. Relies on her team before that point to get the resets on the Get Excited to be able to mobilely move around the team fights, but provides a lot of AoE. In saying that, Sion, this guy, once he gets 2, 3, 4 items, starts becoming unkillable, but until then is really just a CC bot. Doesn't have that much damage coming through. Lanes pretty safely, you have to say, but there are some worrying late game scaling signs here, and the next couple of picks tell the exact same story.
Yeah, they're looking to scale up a lot, whereas on the other side, Gamtee, they've got that Cataclysm Equalizer combo. They've got all of this mid-game damage coming through from Corki, and depending on what they do to round out their lineup, things are going to look fantastic. Moving towards, you have to think, that first dragon fight that could come down. Xiaohu able to last pick his Azir here as well, so a lot of area control coming out from all of these champions.
Yeah, it's a stall comp on the side of World Elite, trying to scale up as much as possible, but what a team fight composition coming out of Gamtee here. They've got the Equalizer, they've got the Cataclysm coming through, and then Xiaohu going to be doing so much damage on this Azir.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe over-committing to magic damage is the only weakness I can find in the comp, but it's got great engage, great disengage, and really good scaling into the late game. I think they've nailed this champion select, and I am worried of how long it will take for this Anivia, this Sion, to get going in the late game.
Yeah, and STYZ on this Jinx as well also needs to scale up, as you mentioned, but they do have scaling abilities here in the, you've got the disengage wall to come through from Ninja if he needs to use it. The Dark Binding can be used as a disengage tool as well, but you're exactly right. It's a little bit worrying, and if this Anivia decides to go for a tier, that Rod of Age is one of these sort of things to really help her mana pool, which that Glacial Storm always going to be ripping through. Really going to put a timer on this game, and World Elite not really going to be in these fights for quite some time.
Yeah, and it will be, I guess, a good telling point to see what Ninja does build. I think we've seen a lot of double Dorans into the role or into maybe a Chalice when it comes to Anivia, something along the lines of not committing to the tier because it doesn't give you many stats until it is stacking up, and you really want to get that roller through as early as possible for the max mana. Is a relatively strong laner still Anivia. If it is a proactive lane, meaning that you're getting ganks, a lot of CC comes out, very high damage, but is very prone in her own right with that low base movement speed of being camped. And you have to think with Danger on a J4 will be looking to do that.
Oh yeah, and you can have so much ganking power so early on in the game as well as a Jarvan. We've spoken about it many, many times. Rek'Sai, though, also pretty strong in that department, but let's get onto the Rift. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, with World Elite taking on Gamtee for Game 1. And World Elite looking to stop Gamtee's spree of victories in its tracks. As we hop into our first matchup. And already some worrying signs here for World Elite as far as that champion select went.
Yeah, just scaling, I guess, committing very heavily to a scaling team comp again, something that has a lot of mid-game power in a Jarvan as well as a Rumble. So they just need to be aware of the fact that they can't really fight the first couple of dragons. They need to make sure that they aren't over-committing to these objectives. And Xiaohu and SyncDream have just been slapping each other since this game started.
SyncDream able to put on that shield onto himself and even out that trade. Beautifully done. Danger taking a few auto attacks there as well as no one really committing to anything, but there's just scuffling.
Yeah, sorry, and that's, of course, Yujie, not Xiaohu. That's a mid laner. And he's actually been stunned up as well now, taking a lot of damage coming through. So a little bit of a scrappy level 1 on both sides. Let me and Aluka deciding they want in.
Yep, everyone's sort of, okay, let's just hit each other a little bit and see how it goes. Xiaohu is going to head back to base. May actually miss the first creep here as he tries to get his 100 health back that he lost. But no, he's going to be able to catch up to that creep wave. You have to think. As standard laning will ensue this match. Tail and SyncDream, Janna and Corki versus STYZ and Yujie's Morgana Jinx combo. And
we got some funny business. We got some funny business going on. Sion is at a Raptor camp trying to kill himself.
Oh no, Aluka. It'll all be okay. You don't need to do this. Okay, no, he's going to kill himself. And that passive going to do work. He's going to be able to kill at least the big one here.
He'll get through all of them. This is a very easy camp for Sion to be able to take out. Actually, one of the quicker camps. So now he just lets himself die, teleports to the top lane. I think he loses 1 minion doing it that way, which is quicker than the Krugs by about a minion in total. So very nicely done.
And it's interesting as well that theoretically he is dead, but still able to get that experience from the camp.
Yeah, so he actually lost a lot more in that one round. So he started his shield. Did he start his shield? Or yeah, he must have started his shield. So if you start Q, you do the camp a lot quicker than what he was able to do there. So that's why he wasn't able to get up there quickly. But the Raptor camp definitely is the quickest camp to start for Sion.
Okay, STYZ though, pushing out this wave relentlessly on this Jinx. Does have a creep advantage here as that wave crashes into the turret. But Tail gonna have a decent time clearing that one off. Level 2's hit across the board. No interesting cheese gonna come through as STYZ cops a phosphorus bomb. SyncDream trying to put some pressure down here as well as the shield comes onto STYZ and Tail. Oh, trying to capitalize, but there's the Dark Binding here as well. STYZ eats a phosphorus bomb for it, and this is already a pretty dangerous lane for both of these teams.
Yeah, a lot of auto attack harass coming through from Yujie, and STYZ just using the time to push the wave up, getting it in his favor. Missed Q out of Ninja in the mid lane there. Already Xiaohu looking to get aggressive, looking to push up into this Anivia, who up until level 6 really doesn't have fantastic wave clear. Does rely on those auto attacks to be able to last hit underneath turret. And that's one of the most frustrating things playing Anivia. Anivia players love the auto attack, animation, everyone else hates it.
Oh, yeah. So frustrating. And that skin actually has a completely different one that can be quite confusing as well.
So we see SDYZ in this bottom lane, farming up nicely, matched throughout by Tail, who's trying to get some phosphorus bomb poke through. The range of Jinx just becomes such a problem as those rockets have levels into them, just do a lot of damage and really push the wave out nicely, fairly safely as well. So Tail using some mana, trying to farm up in his own regard.
He does have a slight advantage there in the lane as far as creeps are concerned, but when it comes to one creep, I think he's going to be okay. Spirit now going to be clearing out his Raptor camp. And everything going pretty nicely for everyone on this map so far. And we'll see whether Danger and Spirit, where they're going to go first in order to affect this map. Because thus far, everything being pretty close. Spirit is going to spot out Danger with his Tremor Sense there just a little bit. And Xiaohu looking to try and support his jungler if he can, as Ninja just continues to try and deal with these creeps.
Yeah, so Spirit saw exactly where that ward went down. We'll be able to, I guess, understand exactly what's going on as, oh, Luca.
Yeah, managing to put some pressure onto Let Me here with this Scion pickup. Of course, Scion, as you said, bit of a meat shield throughout a lot of this game. Xiaohu might see a Spirit here just for a moment, but Luca just happy to farm out these waves. Actually, Spirit getting caught by the Flag and Drag there as Danger doing a lot of damage at this early stage as Jarvan. Ninja answering back, but oh my goodness, the E actually giving the shield here to Xiaohu. Puts out another Sand Soldier. There's the command attack. Is the last auto attack going to be there for Egg Form? No, it's not. Of course, those Sand Soldiers not going to last as long under the turret, and Xiaohu not going to be able to pop that passive just yet.
But that was a straight-up 1v1 for so much damage from Xiaohu, putting a lot of pressure on now for Ninja. He has, of course, got that, maybe a dive coming through here. No Danger, just wanting to clear out that tunnel. Crystalline Flask was the first buy for Ninja, so he has a lot of sustain in that lane. We'll be able to get up relatively high on health, but that's just a worrying sign when you get taken that low in a straight-up 1v1.
Yeah, and Spirit going to go back to his jungle here as well to try and farm up. And as a Rek'Sai, what do you want to do? Do you want to be farming as much as possible early on, or do you want to be affecting these lanes? Where does Rek'Sai's power really lie as far as ganking?
Yeah, well, I'm kind of confused here because I think that Rek'Sai is a very good farming jungler, and in that regard, I do like to take the Trailblazer early and really try and push around to level 6 where I can use my ultimate, kind of how Nocturne would, to affect counter ganks. However, we see the Chilling Smite coming out here, so yeah, that means that they're probably looking for some early ganks coming through, looking to at least match Jarvan's pressure. So it might be that they're just trying to scout exactly what Danger's doing and try and match what exactly so they can counter gank. But I think that, yeah, Trailblazer is a better pickup, and farming until level 6 is probably the way to go on Rek'Sai.
Yep, Yujie just going to be hanging out in his bottom side, looking to threaten with that Dark Binding at the moment. SDYZ sort of having his own way with this lane. This Phosphorus Bomb is going to go wide here as well. Tail copping a little bit more harass here from the extra range of Jinx, like you mentioned earlier on, but you have to think that once the first buy comes in, once those components of the Trinity Force are going to be there, Tail's life becomes a little bit better.
Yeah, it certainly does. And look at the tunnel management coming out of Spirit at this point in the game. Has ensured that he has a very quick path around the map. And this is what we're used to seeing from Rek'Sai players. Putting that jungle on farm from top to bottom, can recall, get back up to that blue buff relatively quickly as well. And that's very nicely done. He'll have a relatively early level 6. Might even look for some counter jungling here as he gets a ward actually just over the Dragon Pit.
Yeah, he's going to head back to base, though. Doesn't have that level 6 just yet. He's going to be hitting that one relatively soon as Xiaohu's going to get donated the blue buff. You have to think that that's going to happen over the other side of the map relatively quickly, as Ninja is going to shove this wave up as fast as he can. Xiaohu just going to use that WQE combo. Nicely get his way over. WEQ, I think, is how it works.
Yeah, it certainly does. So you put out a Sand Soldier, you E to it, and then you move it with your Q whilst you're transversing through the E. Very, very cute move. Gives you a lot of extra range. Allows for some surprising initiations with your ultimate as well. Nice deep ward actually coming out of Let Me in the top lane. He has been punished a little bit, but has been able to farm up nicely, 60 to 65. So even though this Scion lane bullying around as the ultimate comes out.
Yeah, the Red Steel was about to be there, but it's okay. Spirit's dead. for first blood.
Yeah, so that was a lot of damage that came out of Xiaohu in that exchange. He's nearly got his Morellonomicon and has been having a fantastic early game. And you have to question exactly why he ulted in that early. It looked like the bottom lane was trying to collapse. But that will mean the first Dragon and maybe even the Red Steel coming in afterwards.
Yeah, and that was just all so fast here from Gamtee, reacting straight away, able to get into that jungle and set it up because they saw the fact that that blue buff was being taken. They knew that that was going to be where he was and maybe just predicted the ultimate from Spirit.
Yeah, well, they were either going to get one or two things. They were going to take away the red buff or they were going to get a fortuitous fight. And the fact that Spirit was able to just gift that over to them probably is an alarming sign. They have a pink ward in that brush that will be swept out, you think, after Spirit takes this, but complete control over the timer of red just means that if Danger wants to get aggressive next time it's up, he's able to do so.
Yep, Spirit actually going to find that red buff. There it is. I mean, red. Pink ward. Going to be able to clear that one away as STYZ continuing the pressure onto Tail, completely out of mana. But only down 4 farm here as well, so able to stay up. Of course, Tail very comfortable on this. Corki knows his limits to the nth degree. And
that was with him leaving the lane to go help out the Dragon as well. So Tail actually doing a fantastic job CSing in this bottom lane. Relatively equal, will be able to go back and get a shot quite soon, pick up a couple of components of his Trinity Force. He's already on nearly 3,000 gold in the bottom lane. You would have to think about 91 CS there. So across the board, Gamtee actually CSing very well now after what was a relatively rough early game.
Oh, Xiaohu not quite managing to make it far enough to get out of the way of there, and Ninja doing a lot of damage with that RE combo.
Yeah, just the crit that comes through from that spell is so high. If you do manage to pull that one off, of course, still behind in farm, but now that he has managed to pick up that Catalyst, you'd think that he would be going into the Chalice next, just going to have much more mana available to be able to continually push out this wave with the ultimate, maybe even start looking for some roams.
The roaming Anivia. Of course, quite frustrating that Anivia, one of the slowest champions in the game, is a bird. And birds generally pretty quick.
And it's funny, historically we actually see some strange builds that come out of Anivia.
Maji's Warmogs?
Maji's Warmogs, I guess Froggen's the obvious one to point out. There were a couple of players in Korea that used to actually go Lichbane when it had movement speed, as well as boots of speed to really get around the map just because of that reason. But a lot of damage going down onto Xiaohu here. Anivia does pack a very big front burst punch, but it's just the mana gating that really holds this champion back. You can already see, without that Chalice, just getting extremely low farming up the wave.
Yeah, using that flask to try and help himself out, of course. As soon as he hits that level, going to have a little bit of a burst of regen, both health and mana, but at the moment, everything very tied up. That first Dragon going to be helping Gamtee just a little bit. You have to think World Elite more than happy having this game be a little bit even at this stage, considering how scalable their comp is.
Yeah, but if they can just pick up early Dragons, Gamtee, then that's what their comp is all about at this point. Scaling isn't an issue for them until about the 35-minute mark. So as long as they stay on top of the objective control, use this Rumble Jarvan combo to the best of their ability, they've got a hyper carry in the mid lane as well, so they'll scale completely fine.
Oh, Yujie taking a lot of harassment here on the bottom side. Gamtee having a little bit of a battle over the wards.
Yeah,
Rockets now picked up.
First back came through from both the AD carries. It was a BF as well as that Avarice versus the two components of the Trinity Force, the Phage and Sheen. So Tail now with the poke advantage, but a lot of sustained damage will come through from STYZ. And with that ultimate, a surprising amount of burst as well and execution potential.
Oh yeah, if they manage to get a fight in their favor, of course, with Spirit's help as well, able to come through at a moment's notice with that ultimate, things could get very, very difficult. That Void Rush, difficult to predict where this Rek'Sai is going to be.
And to help combat that, a Sightstone was picked up by Danger, so he's committing very heavily to these wards as well. Tail getting so aggressive.
Oh yeah, Tail knowing the limits of his champion here, rocketing STYZ in the face as he gets trapped underneath that turret. And it's going to be difficult for him to enter this lane again. And Spirit, he was waiting in the wings, but not going to be able to fight this with STYZ on 300 health.
Yeah, certainly won't be able to. So overall, the lane looking very good for the bottom lane of, Gamtee.
Danger clearing out some pink wards here as well. The vision being removed on World Elite's side. And Ninja going to have to be pretty careful, respecting the fact that Jarvan could still be hanging around. He's going to just sit back and take his blue buff with the help of Spirit.
Yeah, so blue buff up will be taken away from Ninja. He's nearly got his roller, so taking into
teleports on all sides here as Aluka comes into the bottom side. There's the equalizer doing a bit of work here. UJ and STYZ take a lot of damage from that one. Aluka trying to get back as Danger gets dark bound as he comes in, and that could have been the dive, but wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, so a little bit of poke still to come through from Tail. STYZ needs to be careful. If they get shoved off this turret, it will fall relatively quickly. Good news is, though, they got the equalizer out 30 seconds away from Dragon, and no one was killed. So without ultimates, you would think that the next fight is contestable, although a lot was also burnt on the side of World Elite. Everyone's ultimate down except for Ninja.
Yeah, and the teleport's down as well from both of these top laners, both of them heading back towards that top side. It might be a 4 versus 4 situation here, as the pings are under Spirit's red buff. He's worried about the whereabouts of Danger at this stage because, of course, very dark in the jungle of Gamtee for World Elite, but he's going to start that one up now. He's going to come over.
Yeah, was just waiting for his bottom lane and his mid lane to be back in a better position to be able to defend if they did invade that one. Recognize that they had the timer, so very smart play coming out of Spirit. Maybe more reserved than we're used to seeing him. Not as aggressive in the early game, but has been farming up quite nicely. Is sitting on a fair amount of gold himself. Actually has 1,000 in his back pocket. Needs to be careful with his back timing because Dragon is up right now. So if they have any information about him backing, they might just be able to take it.
The thing as well, Let Me does have that equalizer up in about 4 seconds. Going to be up very, very soon as Tail. Syncdream going to be pushing this wave back out yet again. The pings are on towards this Dragon. It was World Elite that grabbed that one.
Yeah, and isn't this frustrating? They actually didn't kill one of the small creeps over blue, which is so important for Anivia. So about a minute later, she had to go back and clear that one out. So that's just elongated the cooldown of that buff, and something that World Elite will be pretty frustrated with, you would have to think, at this point in the game.
Yeah, blue buff denial. Not good coming from your own team. As Xiaohu able to clear out this mid wave as well. Now 1-0-0 on this Azir, of course, managed to pick up Spirit over at that red buff. Does have a slight CS advantage here as well. And Azir, very sort of similar playstyle to Anivia.
This might be trouble.
Oh, Spirit's waiting.
They're defending that pink ward very heavily. They must know something's up. Danger looking to get a flank around potentially. No, just dropping a ward.
Ooh, Preyseeker going to be dodged out of the way of here as Spirit comes around and just clears out the vision. Multiple wards going to be put down here, and that Sand Soldier going to go to town on that pink ward. Secures that one for himself and says thanks for the 30 gold. Swept out as well, so the vision battle is on between both of these sides. Second Dragon now for Gamtee. Could be the first. Oh, the Scuttle Crab steal with the Preyseeker. Spirit. Smooth moves.
Yeah, Battleship game one there by Spirit.
Oh, yeah.
Able to get that one through. That's very important because Gamtee want to be taking these early objectives. We talked about how yesterday they looked much better moving around the map, much better in their objective control. So being able to deny that is important.
Oh, Tail's actually gone aggressive. There's the flash. Nice Monsoon. And Tail just going to Valkyrie his way to safety. Super Mega Death Rocket not available just yet, as it was used just in that last engagement. Ninja forced to use that flash. Glacial Storm going to be down, not doing too much damage at this stage. Of course, Rod of Ages only just started stacking
Zion
recently.
ultimate coming through.
Oh my goodness, the Unstoppable Onslaught drive-by coming through the mid lane as Aluka just going to waddle his way towards the Dragon.
And now Team World Elite in position to maybe challenge this Dragon, looking for a gank onto Syncdream.
Oh, he's going to get knocked up here as well. UJ, easiest Dark Binding of his life, and Tail just going to have to watch his friend die.
Yeah, really nice move from Spirit there, recognizing they would have to check the Dragon and then walking into their jungle for a nice tunnel underneath the support of Syncdream. They'll be able to pick this one up against the flow, because until this point, you'd have to think that the game was in maybe Gamtee's control. They're able to pick up a turret in response, maybe even get some work done on the top lane. But really nice play from World Elite.
Yeah, able to secure that Dragon as well, and that's really, really important. You were talking about their scaling comp, how the fact that they had to sort of deny, at least concede these Dragons in the early stages. Not going to have to, able to get those 6% stats, which is going to be very important towards the later stages of this game. Gamtee now trying to pressure through. Let Me does get the top outer turret, so that's 2 towers in trade for a dragon, and Gamtee just stealing away some jungle camps as well.
Potential third turret actually in the bot lane. Tail will get a little bit of time with this one. We'll have to back off, so it will stay on about half health, but that's a lot of work being done across the map.
Oh, Spirit trying to come in and find Tail here, who's going to Valkyrie his way to safety. Spirit unable to really find anything from that Void Rush, but it doesn't have a very long cooldown.
No, it certainly doesn't, and Tail had everything up there, so he was not really in that much danger of being, I guess, taken advantage of, and we'll be able to clear out this bottom lane. Now picked up the Trinity Force and the Sword Boot, so this is really Corki's first time to get going. We'll be looking to get dangerous in these next couple of fights. Yeah. Oh, that was 2 crits.
Nice poke to come down from STYZ as he lands the zap here as well. Spirit looking to come down, does just tunnel his way out of there.
So STYZ, the Iron Jesus, able to get a couple of crits in there. And that's really put Tail on the back foot in this lane now. You can't really walk up when you lose that much health. Spirit needs to be careful. Danger is just on the other side of the wall.
Yeah, using his sweeper there, does get immediately replaced by the Sight Ward of Danger here as well, who's also hanging around in the bottom side. Tail able to get back up to relatively high health here as well in the bottom side of the map. So able to now go back on the offensive. Banshee's Veil first item for Aluka here. We see a lot of these Scions going completely tank related.
Yeah, Scion, of course, just uses his, I guess, passive for a lot of the damage that he wants to put out later in fights. He just wants to be a melee absorb, really wants to get a lot of that CC across. Nearly what Renekton was about. He equalizes a lot of lanes, brings a lot more CC than what Renekton does, and gets inherently tanky as the game goes on. Ninja, though.
Yeah, the QE combo going to land onto Ninja here, who doesn't have his flash available. Danger going to flash out of it himself. Super Mega Death Throw, it sails by unnoticed, as Danger's going to be the focus here as well. Aluka picks up that kill. Sync Dream coming through for the disengage, but it's going to be a free one here for World Elite.
Yeah, really nicely done. A little bit of over-aggression out of Danger, and you see already how tanky Aluka is. Wanders past a couple of Sand Soldiers, doesn't even really take that much damage, and the Equalizer, good positioning for Let Me, but a lot, I guess, expended to keep that down to only a 1-kill loss.
Yeah, using that Monsoon from Sync Dream in order to get them out of this one, and this might be Gamtee being a little bit less sure of how their comp is going to react to these things, because of course Sync Dream far better on these sort of proactive supports, you have to think.
Yeah, exactly right. We've been playing extremely well in Leona, now on something like Jan, a completely different kind of playstyle, not looking to get in there and start things up, more looking to peel for the carries, so that definitely has to be playing on their mind. In saying that, Xiaohu's still on his ear, so he's relatively comfortable in this game, and we've seen he's been farming up the Storm and playing relatively well. I think a lot of it's going to come down to the top lane. Can Let Me continue to farm and get some good equalizers out to stop what this Scion's going to do? Because we saw how much trouble Scion was giving them in that last little bit of a skirmish. He's just so tanky and adds a surprising amount of damage through that E, through that Q.
Yeah, Spirit and Aluka now waiting for Rumble. Last outer turret, though, going to fall down here for Gamtee, who have got themselves a 1,000 gold lead, but Let Me, you're in trouble, buddy. He gets Chilling Smited here as well. The minion not going to land as Prey Seeker does find him, but he's running the wrong direction. There's the full charge up of the Q, and Aluka going to pick up that kill as well.
Yeah, but 4 members strong now for Gamtee in the bottom lane. They were able to take out that turret, looking for the next one as well. With a Trinity Force, with Xiaohu on his ear, they will rip through these turrets. So able to get something back in response. Will lose 2 turrets, most likely in the top and the mid lane. But that's a very long way for a minion wave to travel in the bottom lane. And because the first turret is still up for Gamtee, it will bounce back very quickly, meaning they have a lot of control over the Baron area.
Correct. Aluka going to try and chop down this turret here on the top side as well. So that's going to fall. 2 outer turrets now for World Elite. They took down a Sun turret as well. Very confusing having an Azir on the enemy team, as these tower counts going to be slightly skewed.
Well, it's not about being on the enemy team. I'm sure that World Elite don't care about it, but it's just bad from a casting point of view.
Yeah.
So STYZ returning into the bottom lane. He's picked up those 2 items. He's got a Static Shiv as well as an Infinity Edge. So as soon as he gets that last Whisper through, maybe even be able to skip it this game, which is always a nice thing on Jinx. Grab maybe a Bloodthirster instead, he's going to be pumping out the damage over the next couple of team fights.
Yeah, and having that Bloodthirster shield as well going to be very important, as Danger going to get caught by a Dark Binding. Still manages to flag and drag, looking for STYZ here. Does have the flash available if the Cataclysm comes down, but there's Tail. The Equalizer to come through as well, and Tail is massive, but Aluka's found his way in, and he gets stunned up. Oh my goodness, that Monsoon was amazing, as Tail continues to be stunned for about 15 years in this fight. Ninja picks up that kill. Yujie does fall down, and Aluka. Gamtee was just wondering whether or not they should try and fight this gigantic Scion, as Zhao, who's found his way around here as well. Let Me gets knocked up. Spirits here as well. Sand Soldiers trying to play a bit of defense as Ninja.
Base movement speed of Anivia going to maybe be his demise here. Oh, Let Me needs to be careful he doesn't get caught.
Going to be very interesting. We'll see what happens here as Let Me's going to walk past Aluka. He's incredibly slow. Now has a Frozen Heart as well as that Banshee's Veil. A lot of resistances to come through. And the members of the bottom lane of World Elite are trying to come back. This Dragon does get secured here by Danger. Ninja getting taken down incredibly low. Sync Dream's going to fall though. Ninja gets egged. Let Me tries to finish it off. He does manage to, as Aluka's trying to do something in this fight apart from just be a meat shield. STYZ found his way into this fight. The Chompers are down.
That is ridiculous damage coming out of Zhao at this point in the game. He's got a death cap as well as that Singer and Morellonomicon, and he's tearing through people. The best thing that Gamtee did that whole fight was completely ignore Scion. They wanted nothing to do with him. Anytime that he was there, they were walking directly past him, and even though a lot of CC was coming out, not enough damage left up with STYZ off the map and Ninja playing extremely defensive. So that's how they won the team fight. Scion, unless he can get some very good ultimates and stay relevant throughout the entirety of the fight, can just be ignored.
Yeah, and he didn't even use the Unstoppable Onslaught in that fight either. It's still available. He probably could have used it at some stage, at least to add a little bit more knock-up, a little bit more CC to that fight. But STYZ and UJ just a little bit late there as well. So second Dragon going to be going over to Gamtee. Not quite as important as maybe the first or the fifth or even the third. But still going to be going in their favor. Oh my goodness, Spirit launching himself towards the top side of the map. Is Gamtee now looking to make more plays around here. They've got a lot of vision on this map, know exactly what's going on. Ninja getting equalized. And that did a lot of damage.
Yeah, it certainly did. He's got the triple magic penetration items coming through. So Rumble at this point doing extreme amount of damage. They've also completely cleared out vision around this Baron. 2 members going back, so they need to be careful. And once again, this is when we've seen World Elite probably at their worst, when Spirit's relegated to split pushing.
Yeah. Doesn't have that Void Rush up for another few seconds here as well. Zaluka looking to come back and start something. He is hanging around that mid lane. But you're right, I mean, Aluka has had a great game, but if he's not going to be doing anything to change the outcome of a fight, there's sort of no reason for him to be doing so well. Oh, the rocket steal from Tail.
Yeah, really nicely played from Tail. That is a huge disadvantage for Anivia. Very reliant on mana, of course. That's why the build comes through the way it did. Didn't elect for any of the Doran rings, which really do help with clearing out these minions and getting some of that mana back. But overall, having no blue buff really going to be the bane of Anivia's life. And now that they're sending all the members into the bottom side of the jungle, there is an extremely quick Baron that comes out of Gamtee. With Azir going the build path he has, will be able to just completely rip through these neutral objectives.
He does need to be there, though. Of course, they are going to start it up here. Gamtee already with a lot of damage. Xiaohu's making his way over. And Yujie wants to try and get some vision down. Has got a ward over the wall here. Void Rush to come through as Spirit wants to come down. But look at this Baron. Such low health. Danger secures it. Aluka can Unstoppable Onslaught right into the front here. The Chompers come down. World Elite have them trapped here on the backside, but they're taking so much damage. There's the wall. It comes up. Spirit's going to get exploded here as well. STYZ, though, is he going to be doing enough damage? He's already got a double kill in this fight, but it's not going to be enough. The clean ace and the Baron here for Gamtee.
And what a play. Trapping off on 3 separate occasions. First of all, using the equalizer to make sure people were in. Then the Anivia wall actually blocked a lot of what was happening for World Elite. Finally, the Emperor's Divide coming through. Fantastic use of imposed terrain to make sure that fight went in Gamtee's favor. They're going to be able to pick up the first inhibitor of the game, and now that it's a 4-0-3 hyper carry Xiaohu and a 3-1-3 Tail, we've already talked about how good this guy is. It's going to be very difficult. We see the fight again. That equalizer just made sure no one could get over the back, and the Emperor's Divide that comes through once again, resetting the fight. And they leave Spirit and Aluka over the other side. They both dive back across, making sure they're on the carries, getting as much work done as possible. And Tail and Xiaohu played that fight terrifically.
Yeah, and I thought STYZ was going to get enough damage down, but he had to go so deep to try and get Xiaohu, and those Sand Soldiers just tore him apart.
Yeah, certainly did, and things aren't any better. The Void Staff's been added. Nearly a completed Last Whisper as well out of Tail. They're just at the point of the game where they are completely taking over.
And I love Tail's build paths here as well. It has that Bloodthirster for that extra shield, but of course that flat damage adds to his poke so much more as well. So these rockets really going to be hurting, as Spirit just going to throw out a lazy Prey Seeker to find danger.
And there's just not enough burst damage to be able to take him out of these fights. If he is able to avoid exactly what Anivia is doing, the Lifesteal is just going to be so valuable because it's a complete tank Rek'Sai. It's a complete tank top laner in Sion. It's just nothing they can do against the consistent damage that's coming through.
And now with Baroned up minions, Gamtee are going to look to take down their last inner turret that's up in this game. World Elite putting on a valiant defense, but look at that Siege minion being so frustrating. Not in range of that turret and still going to be putting the work in. Darkbinding going to land, and that Tormented Soil will take about 15 years to kill that guy.
And Spirit actually backing, looking maybe to get a flank in here, but no, just walking back to his team. And there's a lot of wave clear and a lot of turret damage that comes out of this Gamtee team.
Yep. Second wave going to come through here as well. Luca taking a lot of poke, but he's very tanky, as you mentioned. Tail gets caught by a Dark Binding. There's the zap as well. This could be the go signal, as he's going to die here. Takes the last turret hit. UJ picks up that kill. This inner turret is going to fall down. Gamtee trying to turn it around now, but Danger's going to die. Spirit picks up that kill. Xiaohu explodes. STYZ gets excited as Letme is on the run from this fight. And Gamtee, what a horrible situation. Letme, oh dear. Yeah. Problematic situation, and Gamtee throw a lead, you have to say.
4 from nothing, able to get in there. They thought that the creeps on the base turrets would actually be enough of a distraction, but a great Q coming through from Aluka made sure that Xiaohu was chain CC off the Anivia and absolutely destroyed in that fight. Really nice hit back from World Elite. See if they've got anything else left in them. Still only a Baron up on Sync Dream, and it looks like they're moving in on the Dragon now.
Yeah, Dragon is, of course, back up. Sync Dream trying to get some vision down there as well, but every member of World Elite is alive, heading down to that bottom side. Able to pick up their second Baron of the game, as Sync Dream would like to have a little bit of extra movement speed as well. You never can have too much.
Ooh, Ninja's still in the base, and everyone else is coming out here. If Sync Dream can keep them busy enough.
Oh, the teleport from Letme has the equalizer available. Tails here as well. Not going to be able to take the Baron as STYZ secures that one. Letme now in a bit of trouble, but look at that equalizer placement, forcing the flash over the wall from STYZ, and UJ is just going to fall down straight away. 1 for nothing. Dragon did go over to World Elite, but you have to think that it's not enough.
Yeah, they'll probably take it at this point. They're definitely not in the driver's seat, so being able to pick up any objective, be able to stall the game out. Remember, the longer this game goes, the more it's in the hyper-scaling Jinx's favor, and they're putting a lot of faith in STYZ. So it's only the support that went down. They're not going to lose any other objectives off of it. Pretty good play out of World Elite.
Not too bad. Not too bad. STYZ are going to help clear out this mid lane as well, as this inhibitor probably about to respawn in the next couple of minutes. So these super creeps not going to continue to be too much of a problem. STYZ's got a lot of damage here as well on this Jinx, so clearing out these waves, not a problem now for World Elite.
Yeah, it certainly is, and really, the bad news is nearly over. Xiaohu's nearly at 6 items. He's got that Zhonya's Hourglass to finish off, and then maybe into a Zephyr if he wants for his last item. But apart from that, the damage is done. STYZ, on the other hand, he's still got another 2 items to completely finish. This Jinx is going to pump out massive damage as the game goes on.
And Aluka's going to get more and more difficult to kill, and of course his passive giving him that extra health.
Yeah, exactly right. So World Elite still in a position where they can make things happen. They need to be careful around this second Baron. You feel if that one goes over, might be a little bit difficult to come back from it. But at this point in the game, 5,000 gold in what is an extremely high scaling comp versus a mid-game comp, they're not in a horrible spot.
VOD trying to lure someone into this trap that World Elite have set. 5 members waiting around this bottom side. It's interesting because, of course, no dragon available. Not entirely sure why Gamtee would ever want to go there. But,
Curiosity.
Yeah, let's just have a look, shall we?
But it looks like the next objective for them will be around the Baron. World Elite have a couple of pink wards to sweep out, I guess, a little bit shallower vision, but need to really be able to get control over the pit itself. Because we already saw how well Gamtee fought with their ultimates in that Baron pit. Maybe the shove down mid lane is the answer to be able to get some deep vision here, but they need to be careful.
Actually, Syncdream trapped between the wall here. Dark Binding's going to land. Monsoon still going. Syncdream helping himself. Look at that equalizer. Zoning out SCYZ completely. Let me trying to burn them down. Doesn't actually use the Zhonyas here at all as Gamtee trying to fight back. Emperor's Divides there. Aluka takes so much damage. SCYZ too far forward. And Ninja gets a nice double stun. Tail's going to fall down. The knock up here onto Ninja. That egg is not going to be doing anything except typing in all chat. Oops, I have to think.
That was a little bit on STYZ there. He roamed up to 3 members and got destroyed. Xiaohu outputting so much damage, going to rip through this Baron as well. And overall, that was a 3 for 4, and maybe Spirit looking for something more.
Yeah, Spirit does have a ward in there. The tunnel's available, but they take down the Baron. Spirit, you're in so much trouble. Not even able to finish off Dangerous. That's the ace, finally, for Gamtee.
Yeah, but they had to give it a shot there. Spirit, if he had have been able to delay that, maybe steal it away even, it would have been such a good news story for World Elite. Instead now, 2 members of Gamtee have that all-important Baron buff, and one of them, Xiaohu, who is having such a good weekend.
Oh, he certainly is. Ever since joining the lineup of Gamtee, everything looking a whole lot better than it was. As Xiaohu's performances have only been improving. And you have to say, this is almost the epitome of set performance.
Yeah, it certainly is. He's able to go back, pick up that Zhonya's Hourglass, still has some money in his back pocket if maybe he wants to grab an elixir or something along those lines. But that's pretty much as strong as this guy's going to get. He's nearly maxed out on items there. And once again, really good ultimate placements from both Let Me and Xiaohu just mean that they're always fighting on terrain advantages, even if it's in the middle of a river.
Yeah, we almost just need a Trundle, and we've got all of the terrain control in the game. I think it's almost done. We can just make as many walls and pillars and things like that as we can.
Yeah, exactly right.
Cataclysms.
We'll call it the construction team.
Yeah, there we are. The Bob the Builder team comp. I like it.
I don't know exactly what it does.
You just build a bunch of things and laugh at them.
It certainly would be entertaining. And we see now with the Baron minions, they're looking to press in on this middle inhibitor. Really good control throughout the whole course of the game. And we complimented them for their objective control, and they definitely have been bringing that.
The thing that I was about to mention was the fact that World Elite need to stall. And I'm just getting flashbacks of CLG EU and potential Anivia stalls happening this game. We could be in for a massively long one if World Elite are able to stem the onslaught from Gamtee, because Anivia can clear out a minion wave pretty well.
Yeah, with that death cap picked up, certainly can, but objectives are just cleared so quickly from Azir at this point in the game because of all the APs picked up. Couple that with the fact that Corki now relatively safe with that Banshee's Veil will be able to get the Sheen procs up on turrets. Does mean that they're in a fairly good position to still siege, but as soon as that Void Staff comes out, I agree, this Anivia scaling so nicely into the late game. That role would be fully stacked for a while now. Throw in the fact that there's a death cap, just really, really can deal with these minion waves.
As we can see, that Glacial Storm, nothing really a problem as far as clearing out those minions is concerned, and those blue ones are like, oh, where are our enemies gone? Walk up a little bit further to find them. The dragon is going to be started here from Gamtee, going to get that important third dragon for the movement speed. It's going to go down incredibly quickly. But you're right, sort of going back to base to buy here for Xiaohu is just to pick up more elixirs, to maybe grab that Zephyr for redundant tenacity and some random AD for no reason. It's a little bit confusing.
Yeah, so see if he does swap his boots out for a little bit of the magic penetration as we take a closer look at Sync Dream's Umbrella.
Nice Umbrella, Sync Dream. Obviously, things have slowed down just a little bit in this game.
Yeah, and that's, I guess, alarming for Gamtee. We said...
Yeah, okay. The reason of the zoom for Sync Dream is the fact that he's got a death cap.
Perfect. Nicely done. Maybe even pick up a Lich Bane, be able to get that full AP Janna going into this late game. I still think maybe a Mikhail's would be more beneficial, especially around that Anivia stun. But, you know, up to you, Sync Dream. You're the support player for Gamtee. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life.
No, definitely don't. And especially when he's building items like that, that's a whole lot of fun. He sees the fact that Ninja has so much wave clear, he just wants to have his Howling Gales be able to clear out a wave on their own. Always a beautiful thing to see.
Yeah, so another pickaxe now picked up for Tail. So the whole item build's actually being rounded out here for Gamtee. Rylai's probably to come through for Let Me. Infinity Edge for Tail. They've got some extremely expensive item builds, but we said about 35-minute mark this will turn back into World Elite's favor. Maybe because of how well Gamtee played, and credit to them, it pushes out a little bit further to maybe 45, but quite soon this game flips on its head. That's a nearly 6-item Jinx, and if I was going to take a carry into a late game, 6-item Jinx would be near the top of my list.
Yeah, you'd probably want that, or... Yep, no, just that. Yeah, I was going to say Tristana, but sorry, boys, she's gone.
Yeah, even old Tristana is gone. Jinx and Caitlyn probably two of the safer AD carries, but Jinx just outputs so much damage with that minigun, all of the AoE coming through, so does a good job. Maybe a Luca looking for a teleport here. There is not many wards to be able to grab one there, so I think they're trying to get that vision. But overall, a very, very slow late game coming in here from Gamtee. They don't want to give anything away because one team fight at this point will be an absolute nightmare.
And they're going for the split push, waiting for these super creeps to continue entering the base for World Elite. But of course, they have so much of an ability to destroy these super creeps as they're entering that Gamtee not able to put them on the timer that they'd want. Oh, Xiao actually going very aggressively, immediately dies. Tail now in a lot of trouble. Dark Binding's going to land, and World Elite get the dream turnaround here. The 2 carries already dead. Let Me forced to use that flash and the equalizer. And what the heck was that, Xiaohu?
Yeah, Xiaohu going in extremely deep and unfortunately paying for it with his life. They're just trying to force because they understand right now World Elite is the team on the scale, and it's very bad news for Gamtee.
Nashor's Tooth is going to be completed here for Xiaohu, but let's see what happens.
Yeah, so he dives in and dies. That's exactly what happened there. Unfortunately, Tail gets knocked up as well from the backline. Good teleport coming through from Maluka, and in the end, Let Me has to burn everything to even outrun that Scion, so that's devastating coming through. Both teleports used around the inhibitor turrets. There's just nothing they can do. So at this point, WE, they don't even have to go out to Baron. They've proven twice that they can hold off the siege. They can just let this game continue to go, wait for Xiaohu or Tail to make another mistake and really capitalize on it next time.
I don't encourage them. I kind of want this game to be over at least before tomorrow, you know? My goodness. Or we could just push the limits, see how long we could possibly take this game. Xiaohu and Tail are going to be alive again. And like I mentioned, Nashor's Tooth now being completed, not sort of the optimal item. Of course, that on-hit damage not going to be happening with your Sand Soldiers. It does feel like it would be a cool idea, but doesn't actually work unless there are no Sand Soldiers there.
But your regular auto attacks,
yeah, do
a lot of damage.
Oh, yeah.
And we see that they've started up the Baron, so they want to push this one more time. Can World Elite make them pay?
Yeah, Valkyrie's on cooldown here from Tail as well as all the Banshees well getting popped. So Luca gets a massive stun in the backline, and Spirit jumping in as well. Tail already dead as that Sync Dream falling as well. Gamtee members just all over the place dying, but the answer from Xiaohu, this is what happens when he's alive in these fights, and he's doing so much work. Aluka takes a while to get anything done. SDYZ's still alive, but now that the focus is on, Aluka's going to die. This is a similar situation to what we've experienced in the past. Somehow SDYZ survived this, but it's not going to be the Jinx Baron defense, I don't think.
It looks like he's going for it, though, so maybe he is trying for something sneaky. They have the vision of it, and they've put Xiaohu over the back. Oh!
Lots of damage with that Zap. Doesn't have the Super Mega Death Rate. He's going to die, though, to the Baron as Danger pulls off. Oh my goodness, the zap gonna land. SDYZ, the last crit, no, doesn't come through.
How long in the Super Mega Death Rocket? It is so close, Atlas.
Oh,
it's
there it is. Oh. Misprediction.
So Danger had the biggest brain fade of his career. Decided to leave a 200 HP mid laner in a Baron pit by himself. And this means it will actually be turned around here. Probably the worst thing that could have happened. World Elite going to be able to pick up a Baron because look how quickly they tear through this one.
Yeah, but is Tail going to come over the wall? He does find the rocket. Does have a ward over the backside. The phosphorus bomb there as well. They're just going to give it up, and he doesn't want to go too deep under that one. Danger and Sync Dream, sorry, going to head to the dragon, but oh, let's see the replay. Oh, that rocket.
Sad day coming through, unfortunately, for SDYZ. Could have been the hero. Still a good play. And it looks like a little bit of a scuffle might break out around this dragon. Sync Dream. Team wanted to pull off. Sync Dream said no.
No. Sync Dream's got a heap of damage that he wants to utilize here. His Tail has come around. They are going to be able to take down this dragon. Danger. Flag and Dragon right into all of the skill shots. Nicely done. Demonstrating how tanky he is, of course, with that Warmogs and the Locket of the Iron Solari included with his Randuin's Omen, which he picked up very early on. Now Ninja using the offensive wave clear as these Baron creeps going to tear apart these structures. Look at SDYZ doing so much damage to turrets. 6-item Jinx. And they're going to continue pushing forward. Yeah,
if they don't get a good engage here, this might just be SDYZ taking over the base. He does so much. It's really up to who can output more damage, he or Xiaohu at this point. And you have to think maybe out of danger, the next pickup is to swap over to that Juggernaut because he has so much health. Would just be able to augment so well and get him even tankier. That you start to see danger signs now for Gamtee. They've controlled the whole game, but 3,000 gold at this point. Who really cares? It is
means nothing.
45 minutes in the game. Everyone's finished a build.
Yeah, and every bit of gold that's on Xiaohu and, of course, Let Me in that top lane is going entirely to waste. They've completed their builds, and they've got nothing to really trade out here as well.
Yeah, both pretty optimal at this point, as you say. Maybe a Death Cap to come through and get rid of the Abyssal Scepter on Let Me, but apart from that, not really much else to be done. I guess still a Infinity Edge to come through for Tail, so that's good news for him.
Yeah, how much gold is he sitting on? Nothing at all. Been spending a lot of his money on these elixirs for these fights as Luca clearing out the top side of the map. And World Elite just going to go back. Baron war off. They take an inner turret. And are feeling good about that.
Yeah, they're definitely at this point a very tanky team. Luca just going to get tankier and tankier, of course, as the game goes on. And he isn't 6 items yet. He's probably going for, I want to say, a GA.
GA, yep. Nicely played, nicely played.
As it comes through. Now you have to kill him 3 times, which is probably even more frustrating.
I don't know why I said Spirit Visage when he had a Megatron Cloak and it doesn't even build out of one of those, but whatever.
So not only do you have to kill Sion once, whilst he's doing nothing. Now you have to kill him twice whilst he's doing nothing.
And then you have to kill him again while he's doing something.
Yeah, when he actually does damage the 3rd time round.
Yeah, my goodness. It'll be very confusing.
So this game is coming towards a climax, you feel. Something good will happen eventually. And when it does...
Oh, there's been good things happening. They've just been few and far between.
I can't wait. A little bit of lull for the last couple of minutes. Gamtee played this one very slow, and they've been made to play, so very big credit to World Elite, who took a scaling team comp and really are forcing Gamtee to play their game.
You know, really stretching this game out at World Elite. And patience is the name of this game, as Preyseeker looking for people here as well. Spirit able to use that Tremor Sense to see exactly where Gamtee are rotating through from. Very handy in these later stages when you are trying to predict exactly where everyone's going to be.
And would you believe it, they're picking the bottom wave because I think that is actually pushing back in Gamtee's favor eventually. So want to get that one sorted out maybe.
I think they're just looking for something to do.
With no Baron now, no Dragon up on the map, not really much to come out of either side here. They're once again rotating in between the mid and top lane, trying to get as much work done as possible. Xiaohu has gone back to base. He's got those home guards, so not even really much they can force whilst he's not there.
Zap not going to find a target either. There's poke available from both sides, but oh man, this ring-a-ring-a-rosy that's going on here from World Elite and Gamtee as they're just following each other around this map. It's hit a bit of a stalemate at this stage, you have to feel, because no damage to the inner turret in the top lane, no damage to that mid lane inhibitor turret, and Gamtee able to defend very, very well. And I like to think that it's because of the Howling Gales coming through with so much wave clear.
Yeah, I like to think that if Xiaohu had potentially in Mikhail's Crucible, he would have lived in the fight that he got caught, and this game would have already been done.
Oh, okay, yeah, maybe.
But in saying that, the Howling Gales definitely are packing a surprising punch out of a death cap.
Yep.
The shields are nice and big, of course. Very good scaling
shields
coming out of Ajana. She is probably, maybe that's a tactic. Maybe Syncdream was the only person to recognize that they were playing a very scaling comp, and he was like, well, I need to become relevant as the game goes on, because maybe I can be the surprising fifth member that we need.
Speaking of sixth members, minions are going to be doing work on this bottom side of the map. Gamtee unable to spend their time there, so the inner turret falls in the bottom side. Gamtee now going to have to focus on that huge minion wave.
Yeah, they need to give it over onto Tail, because he needs to get that Infinity Edge. In fact, on the other side of the map, STYZ was even able to sell his Static Shiv and pick up the Phantom Dancer, so he really has the optimal carry build coming out here. Tail, 2,000 gold, still needs a little way to go before he can pick up that IE.
Like 50, 100 gold or something like that until his IE is finished. Oh no, he's building it from a pickaxe, so even more. About 2,800 gold necessary.
And this is a very late game, I guess, very expensive. That's nearly the luck. Ooh.
Oh, Danger's going to get caught by the Dark Binding here. Spirit distracted by a ward, so no fight's going to ensue.
Yeah, so they catch out Danger. Probably not the member they want, but what do they do in response? They rush down mid lane. They're being caught and pincered here. Need to be careful that they don't bunch up for that Scion ultimate.
Or for Spirit's Unburrow here as well.
And nothing happens.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Spirit's tunnel vision a little bit too much on this Rek'Sai.
Tunnel vision, oh god.
You tried to almost give me credit for that horrific piece of humor. That's what happens if a game goes for 51 minutes, okay? What else are we going to talk about?
And they're still on 4 dragons. Okay, this is a game plan. Give up the Baron, take the 5th dragon, catch out STYZ, go Gamtee, go.
Oh, Syncdream going really fast. Oh no, there's an STYZ there. We could possibly win the game. No, better take it back.
So this is a 5th dragon. This means the world if they can win the fight.
Equalizer comes down. Dragon gets taken here from Danger. Spirit in a lot of trouble. Aluka trying to be a problem as UJ is going to pop the Zhonya's Hourglass. Aluka going to die for the first time. STYZ picks up Let Me. Oh my gosh, Tail goes so ham in this fight. STYZ's dead. Ninja's going to follow as well. And Gamtee, what an incredible turnaround. And who said Corki wasn't good in the late game? They're an idiot because Tail is a god.
Yeah, Tail going absolutely massive. A lot of damage coming out of Xiaohu, but for me, it was all about Let Me zoning 2 people in the back line. They're going to be able to go through and win this in the super late game. Xiaohu, you better hope that you don't die now with your ultimate on cooldown.
He blew his ult, flash, and heal just to get into the base
as quickly as possible, and it looks like Gamtee will be able to take this one in a 52-minute grueling battle.
And in the end, 22 kills apiece between World Elite and Gamtee. What a close matchup. The gold was irrelevant at the end, but a beautiful team fight secured that game for Gamtee, and they managed to pick up their win, but you have to think that that was a little bit more difficult than they'd otherwise be expecting.
Yeah, at about 25 minutes they were coasting, and at 52 minutes they were sweating, but the all-important 5th dragon ended up turning it for them, and that's a good game to go through. Remember, they're going for the perfect week, and if they can win the next one, they'll have it. We have a replay, actually, to just show exactly what was happening, so this is a Baron fight. If we can roll this one in, Gamtee pulled the trigger to go for this one extremely early, and they got made to pay. Aluka with a great ultimate followed up by STYZ, but this is all about Xiaohu on the back end. Let Me once again with a great equalizer and combo, but Xiaohu, just no one touching him, able to output so much damage, really got the job done, and even though they weren't able to clean up STYZ, they take out Aluka, and I don't want to watch the end of the replay, which is probably Xiaohu being abandoned by Danger, who has about 4,000 health. But really, Zhao, who played this game extremely well across the board, was really the AP carry his team needed. And on these scaling AP carries, the Azirs, the Xeraths, he looks so potent.
So strong. And any AP carry that also has a lot of persistent damage in a fight, his ability to get out the maximum of his champion over a large duration is beautiful to see. Of course, here's Xerath, really great at rotating those cooldowns, as well as now this Azir looking fantastic. But, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be getting into Game 2 as soon as we can, so don't go anywhere. World Elite take on Gamtee for the second time just after this.